Hi everybody, it's Kim Connolly from KC Health Coaching. How you doing? This is my first ever Facebook Live, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit, but it's going to be fantastic. I'm talking to all of the people who love essential oils. You've already got the chemicals out of your kitchen. You're going to get the chemicals out of your kitchen because I'm going to help you to get the chemicals out of your kitchen. You've got the chemicals out of your medicine cabinet. You've got the chemicals out of your cleaning closet, and you've also got the chemicals out of your body lotions and things like that. The problem is that you still have chemicals in your food, and because you love doTERRA oils or any other essential oils, you already know the value of having pure, ethically sourced things that are going on your body and in your body, and you know how good it is to actually be using things that make you feel good. Oils are phenomenal. I'm amazed with oils because they work so quickly and they're so good for you. I've had doctors say that they couldn't do things where oils were able to do things. So not that I'm saying anything bad about doctors. Doctors are fantastic, but I have been astounded at how quickly oils work. So what I want to talk to you about tonight is looking at your food the same way that you look at your oils. So when you first got your oils, you didn't just dive in and completely change everything. You got oils and you tried oils and you saw what worked for you and what didn't work for you, and you kept the things that you liked and you left the rest. And you started to get educated and started buying more oils, and it felt really good. Well, it's the same with food. If you were to compare oils to a chemical pill, so you got a chemical pill from the doctor, or you have the choice of using an oil. Now, the chemical pill from the doctor may have side effects. It might have something in it that will create side effects. It could have some chemicals. You have no idea what they are. When you read a pill bottle, do you know what it says? Because I sure don't know what it says. And it might have 65 different ingredients. Whereas you look at an oil and you've got just one or two things. And usually it's just one oil, unless it's a blend. So when you are taking tablets, you have no control. You don't know exactly what's going on. You don't know exactly whether or not it's going to have may have side effects. However, I want you to start thinking now about your food the same way. When you look at packaging, it's often got ingredients in it that we have no idea what they are. Or they say that things are healthy and they're not necessarily healthy. Or they might say it's low in fat, but yet it's super high in sugar. So again, if you compare your food to oils, with the oils, there are not a whole lot of ingredients. There's the oil and there's not much else. Well, there's nothing else. There might be oil blends that might have a number of oils, but that's all it is. If you start thinking about your food and start trying to get your food back to being similar to your oils, in that the food has got not a lot of ingredients. So if you're making a dish and you put in a sauce that's got 5 or 10 ingredients in it, and then you put in some salt, and then you put in some seasoning. The seasoning might have MSG in it, it might have a couple of other things in it, and you might use a packaged sauce. So if you got something out of a tin, it might have high salt, it might have high sugar. If you add a whole bunch of packaged foods, then you're getting a whole bunch of different ingredients, and you have less and less and less control. And those different ingredients could have all kinds of things in it. If food says flavoring, if it says natural flavoring, they can actually get it from companies that don't have to disclose what's in the natural flavoring. So you might get something that says that it hasn't got sugar in it, but then you add the natural flavoring, and the company, the source company, doesn't have to know. They're not allowed to ask the flavoring companies what's in it. So there have been things that I've had that have had something in it that really bothers my tongue now, because I've been eating raw I ate probably 80 to 90 to close to 100% raw for 4 years, and now I probably eat about 60, 70% raw. But because of that, I don't have a lot of sugar. I have honey. I love raw local honey, and I have maple syrup. But if there's something that is masquerading as healthy and has sugar in it, I don't care what the package says. My tongue is going to burn. My tongue is the one that tells me whether or not there's sugar in certain foods. And that's what I mean. It's really difficult to trust the labeling on things. So if you started to think about getting your food as pure and as ethically sourced as your oils are, then you would get even healthier. I like to think of it, I made a little acronym called SLOTH. You know, a sloth is a very slow moving animal. Well, my acronym is SLOTH, SLOFF, and it stands for seasonal, local, organic, fresh, and fermented. So what it means is that if you can get your food that's local and grown here, it's going to have the bacteria that is local. And then if you have raw local honey, that's going to have bacteria in it that will break down the local food. It's if you're eating seasonally, then you're eating in a way that your body should be eating, that you're eating for the temperature that you're living in. For example, right now it's hot summer here in Australia, and I just had a very quick shower after an OzTag game, and it was very hot out there. So watermelon is a beautiful thing to eat, and it's in season. If it were the middle of winter and you're eating watermelon, it's a nice taste, but it's not actually what the body is probably craving because you're not sweating that much in winter. So seasonal, local, fantastic to have local things. If you can get local growers that are organic, then you're getting, again, the local bacteria from the area in which you live. Seasonal, local, organic. Organic is fantastic. Be a little bit careful that you're not getting organic from another country like Brazil. So it might have very, very many miles on it. And although it is organic, the nutrient level might not be as good as it could be if it was local and organic. So fresh, that's another reason I put in fresh, because sometimes you can get organic, but it has come from the other side of the world and it's not actually fresh. It might be organic, but it's been hanging around for a while. So seasonal, local, organic, fresh, and fermented. Fermented is critical. Fermented is so good because once again, we're getting the bacteria in our stomach that will not only help you to break down the food that you're taking in. And when it breaks down that food, it gives you the nutrients. But it will also help you to break down the fat that you've stored on your body. So you want to have good bacteria. Now, the other thing is that if you can get local organic boxes from people like the Bello Food Box or Synchronicity Farm, Mr. Chlorophyll, I love Mr. Chlorophyll. If you can get boxes of greens and local organic food, you are actually going to end up spending less money on the doctor because you're going to get less sick because your immune system is going to be better. And even if you don't see the results right away, you will see the results later. When I went raw 4 years ago, the changes were enormous, just enormous, from all kinds of things. Like I don't get bitten by mosquitoes anymore. I don't get sunburnt like I used to. I used to burn in 5 minutes. Now I actually tan, and I only use coconut oil on my skin. I use the odd bit of sunblock, a really good health food sunblock, just on my neck and maybe on my nose, but I don't burn like I used to. I lost weight. I lost 8 kilos. My brain got better. So there are all kinds of wonderful things that can happen from eating good local food. And the way to start doing that is to start adding in. If you, like I said, when you first started with your oils, you didn't just empty everything out, chuck out everything and go to the oils. You started adding it in bit by bit. And it's the same with your food. If you start trying to eat 1 or 2 meals a day that are made from scratch, first of all, and because if it's made from scratch, then you know the ingredients. And they're really simple things that you can make from scratch. When I first went raw, one of the things I did was I tried a new recipe every day. Now, that wasn't always easy, but and some of the recipes were really awful. Like every now and again, I did end up throwing out some of the food. However, it was pretty rare, because if you're getting local, organic, seasonal food, you don't want to throw that out. So even if I didn't like it, I'd wolf it down and be done with it. So you can get some of those food boxes. You can check out different recipes. I've got recipes on my website, KC Health Coaching. You can get a health coach. You can get a health coach who will help you to bring in those foods and help you to move yourself along, so that you're learning step by step how to actually eat the kind of food that works for you. Because the other thing is that we're all bio individuals. So that means that, for example, Brazil nuts. Because I was eating raw, everything said that I should be eating Brazil nuts because of the selenium in the Brazil nuts. That's hard to say. But it killed my stomach. I don't know what it is about Brazil nuts, but they just do something to my stomach. So I worked out that that was not a good way for me to get it. I had to get it in another form. And in that case, I did different things, took a couple of supplements, and looked up the different foods that I could get selenium in, which is actually really hard to get because of our soil here in Australia. So as an oil person, you're already on a wonderful path. And I, being very new to the oils, I would just like to tell you that I am really, really impressed with the oils and how efficacious they are, how useful and how good they are to use. So good on you for being part of a very wonderful movement. And start looking at ways to get your food catching up with your oil ethos. And check out my website. I've got things on there all the time. I'm doing challenges and doing things all the time. So check out KC Health Coaching. And I'd just like to say to all the doTERRA people, I'm with you, and the other essential oil people, anybody who's got really ethically well-sourced oils and they're pure, I'm with you all the way. So take care, and I'll be bringing more of these Facebook Lives now that I've done my first one ever, and be giving you other hints and tips about what to do to get your oils, to get your foods as good as your oils. So take care.